I've never been more ready in my life, Creighton Olsen, because in the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire, he is the King of Reapers, the Dutch Destroyer in the blue, representing Team Liquid. It's uThermal.
And his Russian opponent in the bottom left-hand side in the red, representing Russia and Starcom Gaming. It is Braddock.
Okay, so guys, I want to...
Before we get started, hold on, Grant. I just got to dispel some rumors here. Every time we talk about Braddock, Chad is like, it's not Braddock, it's Brat. Okay. Chad, I've been in lobbies with this man. I've partied with this man. I've never actually partied with Braddock. I imagine he's a machine. But he has told us both of them are acceptable. So don't lose your shit.
Mind. He really doesn't mind. Braddock is easier to say. It's one less syllable, and we're lazy commentators. Don't you know that? We were too lazy to make it as players. That's why we commentate. We cut syllables.
Well, Grant, I interrupted you earlier. What were you going to say about these players?
Well, actually, I wasn't going to say anything about these players. I was going to say thank you, everyone, for being here. I came into the beginning of the day feeling really quite unwell during the first series. I didn't think I was going to make it. I'm packing up a little bit. I'm feeling all right, Creighton Olsen.
Is your face swelling a little bit less, or is it just that the drugs have finally kicked in? That might be it. Everybody loves a good acetaminophen here and there. We got orbital commands on both sides, Reapers on both sides. We're going to see Reaper expands here. Both players taking this very seriously. Our goofy prediction that Thermi might be going for a 3 proxy racks mass Reaper all in looks like it's not going to come true this game at least.
No, both of these players are going to start out by feeling each other out. Now, I really wanted to see Braddock proxy all 3 buildings at the other side of the map once again. This is the map he did it onto... Is it the map he did it onto Gabe? No, it wasn't. It was Death Aura, right?
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it was Death Aura where he did that. So they are going to start off pretty even. Now, if you're Braddock, you are feeling pretty good. You beat Gabe 2-0. Like... things have been going well for you. We are going to see Hellions, by the looks of it, for both of our players. CC'd on the low ground at very similar times. And actually, what is Mark doing?
That's a really good question. That question could be asked at any point. What is Mark doing? He's just going to drop a factory behind this. I think he's probably just checking some stuff out. Sort of deciding what he wants to do against Braddock. Braddock, of course, one of those players, as you've said, that has been around since the dawn of time. He I think one of his first practice partners was White Raw back in the day, and you can never count him out from doing something absolutely wacky. And wouldn't you know it, Grant, he's doing something wacky this game.
Yeah, and I do think aggression is going to favour Braddock, but he really doesn't want to be losing a Reaper right now. uThermal made a second Reaper, and that means he's now going to have a little bit more control. 2 Hellions will be coming out very shortly, and that shuts his pressure down, and actually ends up favouring the Red Terran player a little bit here, because he didn't make that extra Reaper. So as long as there's no heavy committal to a fight, Braddock will be feeling okay. He's going to go into the main here, and he sees a very quick 3rd command center. This is exactly what Braddock wanted to see, and he slows it down. And he has a proxy. Right now, Creighton Olsen, Braddock's going to be flying high. As high as Grant right now.
And not just is he proxying out that starport, he is adding on the tech lab. He's going to
kill 2 workers.
Banshees out of Braddock. I have not seen that since Wings of Liberty, and I'm so jazzed that Braddock is bringing some spice to this party.
Yeah, this is very smart from Braddock. He knows his opponent is going for a very quick 30C. I'm not sure if Cloak was the exact response to seeing the 3rd CC. He may have gone cloakless if he didn't see that, just to get in a little bit quicker, but he knows he can probably afford to take a few liberties here. He will probably go up to 2 Banshees and then move in with them together, and as we saw Ziggy do in Game 2 versus Shadow just 30 minutes ago, there is a lot of potential for damage. There's no eBay yet here for uThermal. uThermal is making a Viking, but guess what Vikings can't shoot? Things that are invisible.
That's true. He's got the Viking and the Cyclone out, which are both great against Banshees, but as you predicted, that second Banshee is going to come out, and Braddock is going to wait until the right time to spring this little honey trap that he has built. The question is going to be, can he get on top of the Cyclone and take it down before the scan goes down? If you do scan the Banshees, the Banshees can get out of the scan before 1 Viking can kill them if you're quick enough. But the Cyclone can lock on and take him out. So as long as he picks off that Cyclone, he should be okay, but I think uThermal might suspect something is up. He's like, there's been no attack, there's been no harassment yet. Something strange is going on right now, and I don't know what it is. So he's spreading those Marines down at the south side as if he's preparing for this Cloaked Banshee attack.
Yeah, I think he's very worried about either drops or Banshees right now. The double Banshees coming in, of course, they do have Cloak. Where is our scan energy at? 40 on that one. He doesn't have a scan. He doesn't have a scan for at least a few seconds. You're going to see the Hellions go in.
Yeah, but the Raven is about to finish, and that'll help him out
good.
Quite a bit. The Hellions do have a lot of damage already done with Cyclone. Cyclone 1 goes down, Cyclone 2 goes down as well. Raven's here, but the Banshees are going to sneak into the main base.
One Banshee will go down very early. The second one looks like it's going to be cleaned up. But right now, where are the Hellions? They were cleaned up. That was a great defense by uThermal, who just said no and slapped him down. Meanwhile, you see uThermal scanning. He does figure out that he is playing against Mac. He sees that the tech lab is researching, and that is Magfield Accelerators, probably, as I forget the name of upgrades.
Yep, no, that's exactly correct. Magfield Accelerators, a beautiful upgrade name, and a good one for you to remember as well. Nice work, Grant. But while it is back for Braddock, it is going to be Bio again for uThermal, who's dropping Engineering Bays 1 and 2 and adding on additional production. Now that he's defended against this little tricky play from Braddock on the bottom side of the map with that Cloaked Banshee, those proxy Cloaked Banshees, uThermal realizes that he's in good shape, and he is going to be able to defend the rest of his army for now. Looks like that last Banshee going to get picked off or might get away by Braddock at the third base if uThermal barely gets away with just a little bit of health left. And nicely played so far by uThermal, whose star sense was tingling, and he saw those Cloaked Banshees coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure if uThermal maybe had a bit of a hunch or if he's seen Braddock do something similar, but that defense was incredible here. And now we see Braddock only killing 3 workers. It's not quite enough. Now, Braddock playing mech could be very, very good, but if there's anyone in the world who's going to be able to punish the immobility and the sluggishness of this mech army, it will be uThermal.
Oh, okay, sorry. You're right.
uThermal beat Clem and Hero Marine and Soul yesterday in the EPT to win the weekly. So he's clearly in great Terran versus Terran form. He did lose to Hero Marine earlier this week. Last week even in the in this event in DreamHack Masters, but it was a 2-1 and it's TVT. It's a little bit, hit or miss anyway.
Sure.
uThermal right now, worker count even, but uThermal's army supply is better. Upgrade, you can see uThermal very slightly ahead, but in the long scale of things, probably isn't going to be the most substantial. Braddock doing a good job of scouting though, and this game's still very, very open.
It's nice to see Braddock utilizing that Banshee very effectively. He's keeping it outside the natural, outside the third base, just picking off little Marines here and there, doing a bit of damage, and most importantly, as you said, scouting, keeping an eye on when exactly the move out from uThermal is, and now we see that the Banshee does go down, but uThermal does see that the move out is happening, so he should know that he's expecting a little bit of pressure coming soon as uThermal sort of tests the waters on moving out soon.
Yeah, and I like that uThermal made a couple of Ravens against Mac. It's very nice to have because that interference matrix, with the amount of energy he has, is he already at the position where he can stop 2 of the bad boys? Nobody's getting closer to being able to interfere with all of these tanks and really slow that down, and that is the core of Braddock's damage right now. Cyclones are very nice, but of course they need to be kited. The Banshee's actually done such a great job this game, as you were saying, Creighton. Oh, come on. Please finish him off. How many are you going to weaken?
Beautiful. Held together by chewing gum and dental floss. That Banshee going to finally get a couple kills, but look at this. uThermal has a double drop heading around on the far west-hand side at 9 o'clock. He's also got a big push coming out from the main. I think he's going to try and distract Braddock here, move him down to the 6 o'clock base, distract him while he does in for the double drop at the natural. There's nothing here.
There's nothing here at all. This is exactly what I was saying. uThermal will be able to punish the sluggishness, the slowness of a tank-based army. He's going to go into the natural. This is going to force a pull. He may even unload and go into the main as well. But uThermal's also found a position right now. Look at this. His tanks have already found a great spot to siege up, and uThermal has just put himself in a phenomenal position. There are so many workers. 24 workers going down. They all went down in the natural. And now we can see so many going to be at risk. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You've described Braddock's response as sluggish, and that would be an exactly correct word to describe how it is. In fact, it's so slow, he's just going to GG out uThermal, catching him with a double kidney shot, 1 in the natural, 1 in the third, and Braddock has absolutely no response to it. GG, and uThermal pops out to a 1-0 lead. A 1-0 lead A 1-0. Grant looks like he's disconnected again. We'll pick up with him very soon here. Very well played by uThermal. Not only an amazing spider sense, an amazing star sense, an amazing scout at the beginning, or not scout, but unscouted defense at the beginning of the game. But we are going to see him put in the correctly timed pressure, that double drop in the natural, and the third Braddock out of position, slow to respond, and the tanks from uThermal just getting too much of a good shot off. So really well done there by Mark Schlappy. And we're going to see him going in with, got to be holding his head high as we go into game number 2. Don't you agree, Grant?
I definitely do, Creighton. Hopefully you can hear me.
I can.
Good. Now, would you like...
Hang on, robot. Hang on. Innovation's joining us on the line now. No, I think you're back now.
Yeah, I am. Would you like to play Mark Schlappy Trivia with Grant SC2?
Oh my god, I'd love to. Do we have a theme song? It's Mark Schlappy Trivia with Grant. Okay, go for it.
Did you know that Mark Schlappy's brother, Ben Schlappy, is the world champion in Left 4 Dead 2 esports?
Okay, I have so many questions. First of all, is it Ben Schlappy, and when he gets older, will we call him Old Ben Schlappy so we can make like a very weird Star Wars parody?
God, I don't know. I'm asking right now.
2, Left 4 Dead esports is a thing?
Yep, so
I had no idea.
It's all done pretty customly. But he built a lot of the maps. They have world championships. He's the best. Ben Schlappy, if you're watching, I love you. And we're getting into the map.
I'm going to call him Old Ben Schlappy just for fun.
Me too. He's younger, though. No, older. He is older, but he's still young.
Old Ben Schlappy. Done.
He looks like Ed Sheeran. In the top right-hand corner of Everdream Ladder Edition, he is the current leader of the series, playing for Team Liquid, representing the Netherlands. It's Liquid uThermal.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side looking for match number 2 winning. Unfortunately, at a 1-2 record right now, it is our blue Terran player. And as soon as the camera moves over him, we're going to talk about our blue Terran player. In the bottom left-hand side of the map, our blue Terran player.
You're not on my camera.
our blue... Am I not?
No.
Grant, I'm on your camera, buddy.
My camera's definitely on the blue.
What? This is very strange. All right, if your camera's on the blue one, then I believe you. Our blue Terran player, it is Braddock. Wait, what? No, I'm on Grant.
It might be bugged.
It's definitely bugged because my camera is stuck at an angle.
So I was at an angle over the blue player. That's okay. So we do see uThermal going for something a little bit tricky this game. He is adding on that second barracks very early, trying to pick up a series win before Braddock is able to deal with it. We see a 1-1-1 opening so far here from Braddock, and uThermal will be happy to see that everything's at home. He's not going for any very cheeky proxies, but Braddock is going for an SCV scout, and it looks like he's going to be able to not see everything because uThermal has blocked it. So Braddock, as you can see, pokes his head up the ramp and just cannot get close enough to see the second racks. Have you managed to fix it, Creighton?
This is the strangest bug I've ever had in a StarCraft game in my life, Grant. My camera angle is stuck, rotated 45 degrees.
So it must have froze as I was doing introductions and spinning the camera?
Yeah. And I cannot unrotate my camera. Like, it's stuck this way. I can actually see the back of all these buildings. Like, I can rotate my camera 180 degrees right now.
If I spin mine, does it do anything?
Let me check. Hang on. You fixed it, Grant. I don't know how you've done it, but you fixed it.
I'm so intelligent.
That was so strange. My camera was literally stuck vertical. It was like I was taking a vertical video on YouTube the whole time. But I could rotate another 45 or another 90 degrees around to see like all the backs of the buildings and stuff. Wacky stuff. Anyway, uThermal with 3 Reapers out early. He's not going for the aggression yet. Just staying back home and trying to capture Braddock on his way across.
Yeah, he did manage to pick up 1 SCV, but that was before things were particularly discovered. So it did just look like a standard 2 Reaper opening for uThermal. But now he's actually got all his units in a position here to trap any units that would come up the ramp. But guess what, uThermal? Braddock took the long way round. Now, uThermal will lose a SCV for sure, but he's going to be able to pick up so much more here. Put the wall up, Mark. There we go. The wall goes up. uThermal killing so much, and he will go immediately across the map looking for damage. No, he won't.
Well, I thought he was too. I would have made that exact same call, but it looks like he is just going to stay home. A little surprising from uThermal. He is known for being very aggressive once he takes advantage over his opponents. But look at this, Braddock in game number 2, going again for Cloaked Banshees. This is so strange, Grant. We've been casting StarCraft for a week and a half together now. And I think Braddock is the only player, that today is the only day we have seen Cloaked Banshees in a majority of our games. Look at that, uThermal gets an SCV, and oh my god! Look at that.
That's so big. Okay, we'll finally be shut down, but that's a lot of extra time. uThermal, that is so cute. We're going to see tank production beginning from Braddock, but now Mark knows exactly what he's playing against. He saw the starport, he saw the tech lab, he saw it spinning, and Mark now knows that he's going to be playing against those Cloaked Banshees. He will immediately, I imagine, swap over his starport onto a tech lab and begin a Raven. Is that what he's going to do? He is probably going to have to wait for the Cyclone to finish, actually. A little bit slow. The first Banshee's coming in. Does he have a scan? Yeah, he has a scan.
He's going to save a scan. He's got a Cyclone. He should be just fine here. The Banshee might pick off a couple of the Reapers, but the Reapers, I think, at this point, just a distraction, honestly, as uThermal's buying himself more and more time. The starport should drop down there very quickly, and we should see a Raven on its way right now.
And that's going to be it. Mark will go up to 2 Ravens, as he most usual does. And I apologise, guys. I call uThermal Mark because we know him, and there's a meme. There's a copy pasta here. Now, we are going to see a scan goes down. This Banshee will get out. That's nice from Braddock. Only taking half its health means it still does have a lot of viability going forward. Raven coming out, as we previously said. We also have Raven this time coming out from Braddock. And I like this now. Both of those players are going to have them. Last time, Braddock did not have any. uThermal was the guy that had them all. This Reaper, though... Reaper?
Hello?
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 Are you there? Behind enemy lines?
Oh, that was wild.
Shoot something!
Anyway, everything good
here.
No! He's finally going to make it out, I think. Oh, there we go. 1v1 the tank. Nice.
He cheated. 2 Cloaked Banshees.
A very brave little Hellion. These Banshees are going to get in from Braddock, but they're not going to get anything done here.
In fact, they both go down.
Well, the Banshee gets picked off, and the Cyclones both make it out alive. Look at that Cyclone. So barely alive.
Yeah, perfect here from uThermal. uThermal is playing Bio behind this. He's beginning tank production. He's getting a second Raven, as we sort of anticipated. We see Banshee's going to be... Banshee's even Vikings going to be produced here from Braddock, who will be looking to get air superiority a little earlier. But Braddock is behind in this game. There's no way to sugarcoat this. Sometimes you have to call a spade, and right now... Braddock is going to be trying to play mech, but he really, really needs to catch up in the game. And Bio can punish this very easily. I anticipate from uThermal, pretty soon we'll see some drops. Has it begun medevac production? No, okay, just kidding, haha. Okay, he'll be beginning that very, very soon.
This is going to be a fascinating game, Grant. There's some really interesting interplay that happens between mech Terrans and bio Terrans, especially when they play against each other. And a lot of it has to deal with the relative power of these units as they're coming across the map, the relative power of these builds. There was a fascinating Terran Craft article several weeks ago, or several months ago, about how Terran players have these big swings, these big peaks and valleys in their power, because, of course, all their units come out at the same time in a perfect build, right? In a perfect build, you get your 5 barracks down. That means you're going to have 10 or 8 or 9 Marines come out at the same time, which means you're going to have a little spike in power and then a dip in power as you're waiting for more Marines to come out. And overall, the long-term trend for this game is that in the late game, mech should absolutely have a bit of a power advantage over bio, just in raw DPS output. But here in the early and mid games, there are going to be great opportunities for our bio player to spring the trap and get on top of the mech player and be a little bit more mobile, be a little bit more of a guerrilla fighter, and try and make this build work. So I'm excited to see when uThermal decides to push across the map, and if he can catch Braddock at a rough time in his build.
uThermal right now is sitting back pretty happily. He's getting all of his bio upgrades. You can see 1-1 is on the way, concussive shells is on the way. Shields are on the way, combat shields are on the way even. He's getting medevac, he's getting his armory. He's very, very comfortable in his macro cycles. He's able to pick up everything he needs. He is now going to load up as well with a 16 Marines drop. It is actually, there's 2 Marauders, so it's 14 Marines. Is that right?
You sure about that?
12 Marines, because Marauders take up 2 supply. Math is so hard, dude.
I don't think you did the math correctly. Are you sure?
No. Hellions coming in right now as Grant's awful at the map. And we're going to see a barbecue queued up here. Oh my god, they're going to get some huge hits. Braddock finding a lot of damage here. He's going to be cleaned up, but 8 workers go down. That's pretty nice. 16.
And most importantly, Yeah, most importantly, I think for Braddock, he's getting 9 of those, but he knows now there's a very significant lack of defense.
8,
in
9,
the main. He's
10,
like,
11,
okay,
12.
something's going on. Something's, yeah, you were right. I was just
I counted.
Oh, the correct. Yeah. Anyway, he's gonna know something's going down right now. He's like, where was all of uThermal's army? I'm surprised to not see him rotate up to the main or send those Vikings out on a scouting pattern. Those Vikings are going to be almost useless right now. As uThermal's going to move in, he's going to put some pressure on the third base with his main army, which will be spotted by the Widowmine, which still gets the big shot off. Dang, uThermal not paying attention. But the drop in the main should go down, even though there are some missile turrets there to try and drive it away. Yeah,
2 missile turrets going to fire away means not all of these Marines will get out. And actually, although this drop is still scary, it did lose a little bit of its charm, its damage. With a couple of Liberators coming out, there is a possibility this is going to be not as bad as it could have been. Brattock so far, he's okay. Now, the good thing is that Medevac's very, very shortly. I'm surprised he's not sent a few Vikings over. Medevacs are not going to be a big part of this game for uThermal because there are so many Vikings and nothing else to shoot that if the Vikings can find the angles, they will take down those Medevacs very, very quickly and allow the tanks to just get so much damage down. One tank is going to siege up now, finally, just to make sure nothing else goes down. Oh, he's going to drop on top of the tank.
Beautiful.
It's such a little cutie, Mark.
Absolutely.
It's actually going down.
Oh, gonna get it. That's so cute. Luckily, Hellbat should clean this up eventually. Well, eventually.
Well, maybe if they fight.
These are 3 hero Marines right there.
Yeah, now uThermal continuing to shark around on the map. His 2-2 is 3/4 of the way done. He's adding on tons and tons of infrastructure as 2 more command centers are coming down, one in the main and another one probably on site somewhere. Okay, here. Yep, heading down to the 4th base in the south. uThermal certainly still has control, and now look at this. He's got a Kalajor-esque Doom drop queued up with 2.5 Medevacs. I'm not counting how many units are in that one. I'll never figure it out.
Smart man. I did just want to piggyback off something you said earlier there. You're talking about the relative position of the Vikings and the Medevacs and how efficient it's going to be. Well, never mind. I won't talk about it now because it looks like there's a bit of engagement going on. Grant, talk us through these fights.
Yeah, this has been pretty good from Brattock. He managed to push back the army coming in, but we do have a drop in the main, and this is the real threat right now. As I said, that Kalajor-esque drop. Look at the worker count dropping. There's nothing anywhere close. uThermal scans and sees there's one tank 100 miles away. Oh no, what a shame. He doesn't care because he's going to completely destroy the infrastructure. He's killed all of the missile turrets, and what that means is he's going to be able to get back into the main whenever he wants. This main has been almost completely evacuated right now. Finally, the army is going to be pulled back, but this is going to leave Brattock so open. The supply block is severe too, and uThermal right now may even look to try and push in to this forward base because there's so many unsieged tanks.
Yeah, luckily those tanks will siege up in time. Of course, they're supported by the tanks on the high ground as well, but a lot of interference matrices going down on those tanks. 1 tank, 2 tank, 3 tank, 4, all going down in the low ground, and that's going to leave things open for Thermi to drop right on top of the tanks. Thermi's hitting really hard at this. Now, he's losing an awful lot of army supply, actually, but Braddock will not be busted. uThermal needs to retreat here. He gave up way too much in that fight. Braddock would be well within his rights to move across the map right now and try and do some damage. What does uThermal's natural and third look like right now?
The natural pretty mined out. In terms of defenses right now, what has uThermal got? Well, he's only got 1 tank to 10. He's got 6 Marines. uThermal's going to fight in the middle of the map. I think uThermal may have overextended with that drop on top of the tanks, and now you can see the tanks of Brattock absolutely raining down fire. It does look like uThermal's going to do okay and stand his ground for now.
I think that was a really clutch fight, actually, Grant. uThermal not only defended against Braddock there, he picked off a lot of the Vikings as well. Remember, those Vikings are going to be so essential, especially when fighting that choke point. The Vikings were the only reason Braddock could see through those line of sight blockers, allowing his tanks to shell down even further than they normally would have. If uThermal had been able to pick off all those Vikings, they wouldn't have got anything done. But the Viking count now down to just 5, which means the Medevacs are going to stay alive for a little bit longer. I don't know how I feel about uThermal continuing to drop here. He might try and bring Braddock all the way back home, but Braddock sieging up here, this could be the beginning of a really, really ugly base trade. And if it does, I'm going to favor uThermal. And yeah, Braddock knows he can't do it. He's in too much danger. uThermal's going to get this drop down.
Yeah, the drop will land. We do have 2 tanks in a good position, and they are going to be able to unleash a lot of damage on this before too much commit. This is a good defense from Brattock. Brattock is still down in supply, and look at the worker count, Creighton. Right now, it is so substantially in favor of uThermal. Upgrades as well. His 3-3 is about to kick in. 3-3 has not even started yet here for Brattock. Brattock's going into Cyclones. He's getting Magfield accelerators, but But right now, uThermal has really found his flow. And maybe he took one bad fight dropping on the tanks, but his macro behind it was so good that it really, in the grand scale of things, won't matter too much.
Yeah, exactly correct. He lost, I'd say he straight up lost about 2 fights there, was able to stabilize though, and since his economy is so much larger than Braddock's, he really can afford to take inefficient fights, and that is the beauty of going bio against mech. Not only can you afford to take inefficient fights, but also you can remax very quickly. He's getting damaged out at the third base, or at least distracting the third base a little bit, a couple of SCVs going down, but yeah, you can remax so quickly. Actually, Braddock, a little bit of pressure here. Ooh. Oh my god, more SCVs.
He's a blue flame!
He's lining them up, Grant.
Okay, it could have been worse for sure there. uThermal losing 7 workers. He killed a couple at the other side of the map. Now, Brattok, if he can catch up, he will still have a very strong mech army. The tank count is now 14, and Liberators being added. Have we got a fusion core yet? From my quick glances, I'm going to say no. This is a very good drop here, or a very nice push here even from uThermal. He's even going to get a little bit of damage onto some of the mech army. He will lose some as well of his own forces, but uThermal finding an opening and taking it.
Yeah, all of those expendable Marines there for sure. He does not care at all, because look at this. He dislodged Braddock's third base. Braddock just has his 4th base down and is working on base number 5 now. But let's do a quick count of uThermal's bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's going up to 7 bases right now. His army supply is way over Braddock's. His upgrade advantage over Braddock's. He's even going into Liberators behind this because he knows he can afford to, pushing back into that third base of Braddock's, and Braddock is under a lot of damage right now on the other side of the map.
And I ask who makes a fusion core, but uThermal's going to make it first, so his Liberators will end up being very efficient here. But uThermal just finding a lot of damage. He's just picked off a few tanks, and that's so good, because that is the core, that is the basis, that is the backbone here of Brattok's armor. And now, finally, uThermal loses a few Marines and Marauders, but again, he did some damage. He killed a lot of units there. And right now, how many tanks have died in this game here for Brattok? 17 tanks!
Yeah, Braddock has just been struggling. That last push, the first push that he made across the map that uThermal was able to stem the damage from, I think was his only real chance of coming back in this game. He had lost so much. Even though uThermal had given up so much army, he had lost so many SCVs in the main base. And even though he's recovered a little bit now, things are looking worse and worse for Braddock as the game goes on. He still does not have +3/+3. He still has not added on additional starports to keep up with uThermal's Liberator production. And he still does not have an army composition that's going to be favored if it ever gets caught unsieged, which unfortunately he's going to have to do at some point to defend against the constant multi-pronged pressure from uThermal.
Yeah, uThermal's hitting that critical point now where he's only going to be banking. He's maxed on supply. He can afford to start throwing away a few of his units to get more effective units. You can see he's going to start adding on a lot of Liberators very soon. He's getting the upgrade for them. He's getting mass upgrades now. Dropping down command centers everywhere, and there will be planetaries to defend pretty much every base. He's getting lots of orbitals so that he can start throwing away workers if it needs to be. His air army is substantial. He's in such a great position, but Brattok is still pretty close to max. You know, anything can happen in TVT. And if Brattok can get to the hyper late game with mech, I prefer mech in hyper late game. For now, though, uThermal does look like he's moving in for a fight.
As soon as he sees those siege up tanks, though, he's got to get the heck out of there. Simply cannot fight against those siege up tanks. That would be a guaranteed way to throw away 100 army supply instantaneously. The Liberators and Vikings from uThermal actually putting a pretty good smackdown on Braddock. Now, Braddock has equalized the army supply just a little bit, but we see uThermal building a much scarier army than before. It's not all Marine Marauder right now. He's got Liberators mixed in. He's got Vikings mixed in. Even though Braddock is beating the siege, I still like uThermal's position. The game a lot closer than it was 5 minutes ago, though, Grant.
Yeah, and uThermal's starting to take air dominance. You can see he's really doing a good job against the Vikings. Actually, a Widowmine slightly changing things there, and I think we should see Brattok. How many starports is Brattok on? He's only on 1. He really needs more starports. I imagine uThermal's on 2 or 3.
That 9 o'clock base is going to get taken down. uThermal moving and force it to lift off here, and that is simply something that Braddock cannot afford right now. His push getting crushed, and uThermal able to dislodge that third base. Things going from bad to worse to, I don't know what's worse than worse, but awful for Braddock.
And as I said, Brattock's stuck on 1 starport. uThermal has 5. And what that means is you can see in the production tab, air dominance is never going away from him. Even if he loses some of these fights inefficiently, he's killing so much. He's currently up 50 supply, and it's only going to continue to grow because uThermal has a uThermal is pimping. He has so much money right now. He's going to be able to take down another base down here. I mean, Bratok is flying over to try and mine here from the 9 o'clock base again. But Bratok's army is just so insubstantial. He still doesn't have free.
I'm so distracted now. All I can think of are what are the lyrics to Big Pimpin', but I've forgotten because it's been 20 years and I never really listened to that song anyway.
Don't lie.
Anyway, Braddock moving in. He's on 69 army supply, but 100 out for uThermal right now. And I don't care how good your Widow Mine shots are. It takes a miracle at this point. There is no planetary here, so this is the right place for Braddock to choose to attack. But yeah, uThermal just has too much. The tank's caught unsieged. These 3-3 Marauders ripping through anything on the ground for Braddock right now. And it's looking like uThermal may be able to sweep his way to a 2-0 win here.
Yeah, uThermal's compositions have been really smart. He really has never overcommitted to Marines. He's always had a very good amount of Marauders in. You can see he's producing as many Marines as he has Marauders, and then only one less Liberator. So uThermal's army is very efficient, and he's going to catch another tank now, and another tank. I mean, these tanks are so expensive to replace. If we look at resources lost, it's 22. It's closer than I expected.
I just checked that tab and I had the exact same thought. I was like, wow, I thought uThermal's trading very inefficiently. I was like, wow, he's throwing away a lot of units here. But fairly even, uThermal's slightly ahead. But really the story of this game is not necessarily that uThermal might be overcommitting to some of these fights, which I think he is. He's throwing away a bit more than he probably should in some engagements. But the fact is, he's got the bank to do it. He's wearing that fur coat and holding that gold cane on 7 bases right now. And even those Hellions trying to slip into the 12 o'clock base, not going to be enough as we see another planetary fortress get dislodged here. And yes, uThermal eats a lot of damage to fight against that planetary fortress, but it's well worth it. And it's so worth it that Brad